Hello, hello, hello. This is Adelai Brown, your heart coach, and I want to welcome you to another episode of the Heartline with Adelai Brown. And listen, I have promised you, Heart Tribe, that I'm going to bring great content, bring great people on here because I know I can talk about hard work, but I wanted to bring on this season some of the amazing individuals that I encounter and that I work with out in the community as well. So today we have amazing, amazing team with us. We have the practitioners, the doctors with Magnolia Integrative Medicine, and we have Dr. Lashana Wilder, we have Dr. Sarah Ellis, and I'm going to let these ladies introduce themselves and we're going to get into our conversation. So, welcome, docs. How are y'all today?
We're doing good,
Good.
honey. How are you?
Doing wonderful, doing wonderful. So, um, as you know, while we're getting started, could you all just introduce yourself?
You can go first.
You'll be welcome. Like,
You can go first.
I'm Dr. Sarah Ellis. Hi, everyone. James Island native, Charleston native, one half of the care team here at Magnolia Integrative Medicine. I am a clinical herbalist and a licensed naturopathic doctor. And I'm joined by my amazing other half.
Dr. Lashana Wilder. Again, Charleston, born and raised. I am a doctor of medical science and an integrative physician associate. And yeah, the other half of the care team at Magnolia. So here we are.
Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you, ladies. So I wanted you all to come on because I know for a fact that you are growing heart equity in the community, and we define that as personal, relational, and financial wealth that we develop through authentic living because many people get caught up in the equity that we get in real estate and our investments, and they understand the idea of sweat equity. You put work into something and you get a return. But I believe what you all do kind of allows people to do all of that plus more because you're dealing with our bodies, our temples that are um that's what allows us to get out here and do the things that we need to do. So
Yeah.
I'm curious as to how did both of you get into medicine? Like, whoever wants to go first, but I really want to know,
Mm.
like, how did you get into medicine? What both of you are James Island, Charleston natives, and culturally, our culture, the Gullah Geechee culture, is so rooted in um I may not use the right term. Please correct me where I'm wrong. But natural, um, allopathic. I can't remember the exact word you used, Dr. Sarah, what your license is
Yeah.
in, but I nat
Naturopathic.
naturopathic, it just a lot of just the way people have lived their lives is
Yeah.
Mhm.
like that, right? I just remember being a little girl and my grandmother, like me getting sick and her putting tallow on me. And I remember my cousin spraining his ankle and he went and got some red clay and made a mud pack and his ankle was fine the next day. The swelling went down. I know the beef fat and just all the things, and I just sort of ill and the stuff stink. But you wake up the next day, fever gone,
You
Yep.
good?
everything is fine. And so
Yep.
I know this is not what we had previously discussed, but I don't know and I want to know, and I know the people do too. How did y'all get into medicine?
Yeah.
Well, I knew at 6 that I wanted to do medicine.
Oh
6
my
years old.
gosh. I felt that when you said that
Yes,
just
6
now.
years old. Yep. I said, I told my pediatrician, I said, I want to be you. I said,
Mm.
I'm going to be you. I thought he was the coolest cat on the planet. Dr. Harold, he,
Heaven
has
loves
gone.
that
Yes.
doctor.
Yes.
He has since gone on, but he was it. I said, I want to be you. I said, tell me what that thing is you wearing around your neck. Like, what does that do?
You see 6-year-old.
Yeah.
That. Yes.
What is that? And he was so receptive and encouraging. And I said, okay. I said, I'm gonna be you next. I said, I need you to teach me what you know, because I'm gonna be you. And then after that, my uncle went to school, Tennessee State, right? And he would bring home his college textbooks. And I was like, oh, I get to read college textbooks, like little small things like that. And he would just bring me these books and I would just dive in. When I started understanding like plant medicine and science and how things connected and how life worked, I was like, okay, I'm in. And you couldn't tell me I wasn't grown because I was reading these college textbooks for my uncle, right? And he's another cool cat, right? So I had different, inspirations as I was a kid that just would feed in. And then I saw how amazing I took inspiration from Black medical providers that I would see, but none of them were local to where that I saw were local to where I was, but I would just see the transformational changes that they would make and would be in awe of how they were able to do it. And I took inspiration from my aunt, who, of course, when they grew up in, the heart of segregation, to where she was able to earn a college degree as a Black woman, and then I would see other women around me doing the same thing. And I said, okay, that's it. That's what I'm going to do. But it was different, different things that just kept pushing me. And my grandma was listen, now, I ain't come on here to cry about nobody, but
It's okay. Tears are welcome here.
my grandma was one of the ones that really fueled me into believing in myself that I could. And if it wasn't for her, I don't think I would be here. I was told when I was about in high school, I had a struggle in school. History, not my thing. Okay. It was so
It was
like
lies
I
anyway.
couldn't
It
get
was
with all these
lies.
people who I never knew, that I can't relate to, that don't look like me,
Don't look
that I
like
really
me.
wasn't into, right? So I struggled in history and school. And I sought advice from my teacher, who said, girl, you ain't never gonna do this. It makes no sense for you to even come and pass my test because it's not gonna happen for you. And I believed it. I started to believe it. It only take that one time, right? And I looked up to her. And I was broken down. I came home from school that day, went to my grandma's house, and of course, in school, you can't let nobody see you cry, right? You can't let them get you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But when I got home to my grandma, I broke down. Like she was my first best friend.
You could cry with grandma. You
Right.
could cry with grandma for sure.
And she thought someone physically hurt me.
Yeah.
So she was like, what happened to you? So she got worried, etc. And I finally calmed myself down and told her what happened. And long short, she said, you're going to take that test, right? It's like, no. I said, what do you mean? This adult has told me I'm going to already fail the test. It don't make no sense for me to try. I'm too far behind in what I know. And, she's my teacher. So she knows, she's been doing this for a while. Maybe she's telling me the truth. And my grandma would not let that get in my head. And she said, Shayna, I'll never forget this conversation. She said, anytime you let somebody control your mind like that, you're going to keep being a puppet on a string. They're going, and she knew that was a trigger for me because I hate feeling like I'm being controlled, right?
Yeah.
So she said, if you don't take this test, then she wins. And every challenge you face or every negative, comment that is brought to you, they're going to win. So you're going to keep turning your power over to people to keep you from what you're supposed to do. Long, short, fast forward, took the test, did the things, I'm here, right? But I would never forget that conversation because any challenge I would face, I would always remember what she said to me. You don't ever want to be a puppet on a string. So when I said to Dr. Harold, rewinding, I'm going to be you. That's what I was going to be. That was the end of it.
Yeah. You declared it then.
However, I was going to be him. I'm not a pediatrician. All right.
But you serve little kids, though.
I do.
We do. Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
But, I knew I wanted to be in medicine then. How that was going to look, I didn't know. I didn't know how I was going to pay for it, how I was going to be able to do it, who was going to give me the money. I didn't come from, mommy and daddy didn't have,
Trust fund,
millions
baby.
of dollars.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But what we did have was intuition. We did have that drive. We did have a lot of things that took me places that money itself couldn't take me. So that's how I ended up here. And I wanted to be able to allow other small girls and boys to say, if you want to do something, do it. There's no rules to say that you can't. So if I didn't continue to finish, then I would be letting them down. So I had to go ahead and go.
Yeah.
I had no choice. So that was really it. That was my thing. So my grandma put that in me, and after that, it was on. I was like, okay,
Got it.
I got it.
Got it.
I have a question for you real quick. What made you choose being a PA over a nurse, an MD, DO, whatever the situation
So
was?
Great
I
question.
thought I wanted to be a paramedic, right?
Let me pause real quick, just in case no one knows. An NP is a nurse practitioner.
Right.
MD is your usual medical doctor. A DO is a doctor of osteopathy that is another regular doctor in conventional medicine that you would see at a hospital or a regular doctor's office.
Right.
And a PA is a physician associate.
Right. So I thought, honestly, and being full transparent, right? I said, PA, what is that? Why anybody want to do that? When I was working in addictions, was the first PA I worked with. And she and the medical director at the facility was the ones that pushed me into going to PA school. PA, why? Why would I be a PA? You got to learn all the same stuff. Just go to medical school, right? And then I thought about it, and I was like, who got $300,000?
Tell us nobody. That's the first.
How are you going to pay for this?
The practicality of it all.
Right? Yeah. Because, I was already told, all right, now we'll help you through undergrad. Whatever you want to do, we're going to support you. But
I got 1 degree.
That's on you.
That's it. Yes.
That's
You
on
grown after that.
You good and grown after
You
that.
good and grown after that. Your dreams are yours at
Yes.
this point. I'm passing them off now.
So I said, okay, fine. So I started applying. I was applying to med school at the time, going hard applying to med school. And I said, all right, let me give this PA thing a shot, right? I said, if I can do the same, and calling me doctor wasn't what I wanted. It was the work that I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, absolutely.
So
yes,
it wasn't
I know that
title
about
for
you.
me.
Yeah.
So it wasn't really that important, in that regard.
Yeah.
So I said, cool, let's give this PA thing a shot. I had my last $50, okay, for that last application fee. And I was in my apartment kitchen. And I said, okay, God, look, I'm flat out. I talk to God like how I talk to y'all, okay? Because we got a relationship,
That's what I'm talking about.
I say, if you want me to do this, you're going to have to open the door. Whichever way you want me to go, this is what you need to do. I am tired. I'm tired of studying. My money is gone. Like, I need you to do this. You tell me what you want me to do. I applied for early admission at MUSC, got in there, and that's how I ended up at PA school. If I can do the same work for a third of the money,
and a third of the responsibility and the
right. And I said, you know what? Let's go. And that was it. That was really what chose PA over med school. And I like the flexibility of being a PA.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because if I want to do OB, I do OB. If I want to do, and again, I told you, I don't like feeling locked in. Like, I don't like feeling like I have to go one way.
Yeah.
So the flexibility was where it was at. The cost, the time. I said, okay, let's go. And I was ready to get to work.
Yeah.
And then I said, well, I want to be able to have a seat at a table to make the decisions, because I didn't like how medicine was going. It became more about profits more than people, and that
Oh,
bothered me.
absolutely. And that is troublesome.
And I get that we got to pay bills, but that was it. So I went back and got my doctorate. So I said I want to be able to have a say, but it really wasn't about the title; it was about the work.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's what really made my decision.
Awesome.
Wow. So much in your story, and a lot of things jumped out at me, but I think what, and we're going to get more into what you all do at Magnolia, right? But what really jumped out at me was what that teacher did to you is what most people are dealing with when they go see their doctor every month, when they go for their annual checkups. That's the vibe they're getting. That's the type of information and feedback, the output that's coming when they get there. You're gonna be sick forever. You're gonna have diabetes forever. You're gonna have high blood pressure forever. You're gonna have fibromyalgia forever. Like, and then because it's coming from someone that's reputable, air quotes, someone, and they are, but it's air quotes, and and a lot of times we admire them. Like you as a
Yeah.
little kid admired Dr. Harrell, and I think it's funny because my husband had that same pediatrician, and to this day, that's all he talks about, as if that's
I'm
the
telling
only
you,
doctor he is. And I said, this man must have been a good doctor for this
he
little
was
black
awesome.
boy to have loved this doctor. I don't know many black men that love the doctor. So for him, I'm serious. It's
Dr.
funny.
Harold
Like
was an
that's,
amazing individual.
you see,
Like,
and then he nurtured your gift,
yes.
Yeah.
right? So I just, I feel like who better to see for my health care than someone who understands that I've gotten this bad news. I've been told I got this amount of time to live, and I mean, I'm going to die, but I want to live. Like, I want to be with a doctor that's like your grandmama. I'm not letting
Yes.
them control me. I
Yeah.
want a caretaker that's doing that. And testimony, what people have been through matters. You know what I mean? I don't care what you know until I know you care. You know what I mean? So I just thank you so much for sharing that. That was phenomenal. And how about you, Dr. Sarah? How did you get into
Yeah.
medicine?
Yes. Much like Shayna, I knew
Mhm.
from a young age that I wanted to be a doctor.
Mhm.
I was born with a birth injury, and so I've had a number of surgeries throughout childhood and would spend like summers at a time in MUSC.
Mhm.
Oh,
And being around doctors and nurses and all that, I just knew like, okay, I want to do this. I
Mhm.
want to help
hmm
take care of kids. And for the longest, I wanted to be a neonatologist, the doctors that take care of little
okay.
babies in the
The
NICU,
little babies,
the little
yeah.
teeny tiny ones, right?
Yes.
Um, but then I went to undergrad and I was pre-med and president of the Minority Pre-Medical Association, all this stuff, right? And I studied abroad in Argentina one summer. Yes, I did like a medical virology trip. And so we checked out their Argentinian equivalent of our CDC. It was very cool.
Okay, yeah.
That is where I got interested and introduced to research. And I thought,
Mm.
hmm, okay, this might be cool.
Yeah.
At this
hmm
point, I'm like a junior.
Mhm.
Okay.
And this is where, studying for the MCAT,
Mhm.
and folks got a 3.8 and they are hyperventilating because
Listen,
they don't know it's not a 4.0 or anything. And I
you
don't
still
know if
got
I'm
bad
gonna get
dreams about that.
like for
Yeah.
real. And so I was like,
Traumatic.
Ooh.
I don't know
Mhm.
if I care, not if I care about it enough, but I don't know if this is going to be worth the sweat and the
Mhm.
pain and the stress, especially knowing that getting into med school is just the first little hurdle.
That's
Like
it.
that,
The
there's so much
first
more
little
beyond it.
eensy weensy, not
Little,
eensy
it's
weensy, but what y'all go
Yeah.
through going through that process. I'm like, man, mm-mm,
listen, okay.
mm-mm.
So I thought, okay, I can get into the research, maybe work on like somehow by the grace of God, I got into like drug discovery and drug design. So I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, I can get into like creating medications, prescriptions, those sorts of things. So I got accepted to a PhD program in something called pharmacognosy. And it's
Okay.
drug design and drug development from natural products. So we would
Okay.
take, bacteria, fungus, plants, all these things, figure out what different chemicals they make, and then figure out how it works in the body and see if we can make a medicine from it.
Okay.
And my thesis project was herbs used for menopausal symptom relief and how they interact with the estrogen receptor. I know, right? Listen,
Child, I need that right now. Okay. I need to
I
read that
got
whole
you. I
thing
got you.
right now. Okay.
You
I know
sound like
you
my
do.
mama. Because as
Yes.
I'm going through this, my mama is, I'm telling her about my research. Oh, mama, I studied like this herb called red clover, and we found out that it binds to all these receptors and helps with hot flashes and blah, blah, blah. And she's like, no, my doctor ain't never tell me about this. You mean there's herbs for me to take so I'm not sweating and losing my mind and all this stuff? And I thought, there's a doctor that does it? Interesting. And so I'm doing research and thinking about it. And I also had thought about PA school, thought about being an MP. But the man I was dating at the time, I met his best friend, and she had just graduated from naturopathic medical school in
The
Canada.
chances.
The chances, yes. So she and I were talking. I'm telling her about my research, and she's like, you would be an amazing naturopathic doctor. And I was like, girl, what is that? I don't know.
Very
Heard of
geeky.
that?
Yes, I love it. I
What?
love it. Girl,
Girl,
what at
what?
us? What? What at us? Okay.
Truly, okay.
What?
And
You can take us out of Charleston.
but you cannot take the
Okay.
things out of
No.
that.
Mm-mm.
No. Literally, girl, what do you mean? What is that? Mm-mm. And I'm like, I don't know. I've never heard of that. I don't know. So I did research. I found a naturopathic doctor in Chicago. I started shadowing her and working with her. And I was like, oh, this is what I'm supposed to do.
Oh,
This is
wow.
exactly what I'm supposed to do. So I left the PhD program with a master's and went to naturopathic medical school. And the rest was history. I mean, like, that was where I felt like I had the tools to actually make a difference with people. And I know Shayna and I will talk about this a little later, but in medicine, this is how I explain it to clients and patients. When you think of a medical provider, they have a toolbox, right? We're used to seeing old school docs with their medical bag.
With the medical bag.
Yep, exactly. And they open it up. The conventional model that we're used to pretty much has two main tools: prescriptions and surgery. Both necessary in some cases, and I always tell folks we need both. But integrative medicine, functional medicine, naturopathic medicine, whatever you want to call it, our toolbox has so many more things in it. Yes, pharmaceuticals are in there in certain states. Yes, we can refer you out to an MD to have surgery, but then we have nutrition, we have diet, we have mind-body things that we can do. We have herbs and supplements and all these other things that we can try before going directly to prescriptions and surgery. So that is kind of how I got into naturopathic medicine. And I'm really glad that I took a chance, because when I told my mom and daddy that I was leaving my graduate program, my mama, shout out to the mamas, because my mom was like,
oh,
okay,
tell me more about that.
Yes.
If you got a plan, they're going to listen.
Correct.
If you just, I'm going to do this because I want to feel myself.
Right.
Girl, get out of here.
Girl, your head bad in it.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
I wanted to discover
Yes.
myself. Get out of here.
Ma'am.
We're not doing that.
No. I told her my plan, and my mama was like, okay, I can see the vision. All right. But my daddy was like, girl, you're going to school to be a what? What kind of job you gonna be able to get? What you gonna do? And I'm
That's
like,
401k. That's the rest of it. You gonna have a 401?
I can create my own daddy. Are you sure about that? Because I don't know about that now.
And it took him experiencing it for himself for him to be all in.
Okay.
He struggles with COPD, and the doctors were giving him everything for his cough. PPIs or acid blockers, asthma medication, all the steroid, all these things. Never really got rid of it. They came for a Thanksgiving holiday because I was out in California. And I said, Daddy, let me just take you to the clinic. Like, it's fine. You don't have to worry about it. I'll pay for it. It's fine. And I don't know what he was expecting, but he walks in and it looks just like a regular clinic. It's just you get different things. And so they check him out. They do a whole examination. Their recommendation was an amino acid, a regular amino acid, and cough went away like that. Went away just like that. His pulmonologist was like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? How did that happen? And to this day, he still takes that same amino acid. That cough has not returned. And since then, he was like, y'all, my daughter.
She gonna be a naturopathic.
Listen, she gonna be a naturopathic. Have you heard of naturopathic medicine? Y'all kids are not. Girl, listen.
And Daddy still do that.
To this day at the bank. I'm at the bank making a deposit. And the lady's like, I got your card right here.
Yeah. Your dad brought it in.
Well, thank you.
Love it. Oh my gosh, what I think that is amazing. And I just love how both of you went in it was like you allowed, as the path unfolded, you went in the path that unfolded for you.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like. Like, that's what it feels like. It was like, I have this intention. It's like, I know where I want to go. It's like, I know I want to go to this city. I don't know what side of the city I want to live on right now. I just know I like this area and I'm going to go here and I'm not going to let anything stop me from getting there.
Yeah.
So I think that is absolutely amazing. And I also thank you for how you highlighted how you got here. Because growing up, if you were smart, this is what you were going to do. You were going to be a doctor or a lawyer.
Right.
Or a nurse, maybe. Maybe an astronaut, Roman those were the things that were
Come on, Mr.
given. They were given to us. I'm just saying. So I love how you kind of took that, but you owned it. You made it your own. Like, both of you kind of highlighted that doctor title wasn't that big of a deal, but it was really much more about how I can serve and apply what I know to really help my people. Like, it was never just about me. As the individual. So with that being said, I feel like that's a good way for us to discuss how did we get here with Magnolia. But for those of you that are just listening on audio, the good doctors are in their office. You can see the degree on the background right now. I mean, they working. Okay. So when you are anywhere near Charleston, and actually you don't have to be because they can do telehealth as well. But let's talk about how did Magnolia come to be? And I know that's kind of a loaded question. So however y'all go with this, we'll go with it. But what is Magnolia Integrative Medicine and how did it come to be?
Well,
That's you, girl.
I must say, I would tell y'all what Magnolia Integrative Medicine is, but I think we have to start the story with the conversation that you had with Adelai, unbeknownst to me.
Yes.
So Magnolia Integrative Medicine is Charleston's first Black-owned and woman-owned integrative medical clinic.
We're going to toot all the horn.
And so when we say integrative medicine, it is a marriage of both naturopathic, holistic, integrative, functional, and conventional medicine. So we lead with diet and nutrition and supplements and herbs. We have an apothecary in the office where we make herbs and tinctures and your herbal medicine ready for you to go when you leave your office, leave your visit. But at the same time, with the help of Dr. Wilder, we have an ability to recommend pharmaceuticals if necessary, help you manage your pharmaceuticals if necessary. So we offer kind of the best of both worlds. But to talk about how Magnolia came to be, let's start with the conversation that you and Adelai.
The thing is God really orchestrated this thing.
Truly.
He did.
Were you in California at the time when you were in that meeting? So clear across the country, she's doing something totally different and she meets our medical director.
Yes.
And then I'm on, in a whole different month on a prayer call. And it was just crazy how the connection happened. So, as Sarah was alluding to, I was on a prayer call early in the morning. No, that one was in the evening.
It was Heart Talk. Yeah,
FM.
that was the evening. Like
Oh,
our
we couldn't hear you.
empower. Can you hear me now?
Is that us?
Can you hear me?
Mm-mm.
Y'all
Let
can't
me
hear
make
me?
sure it ain't.
Okay, no, because
Oh,
it's
hold on.
let's see.
Got you. Now we
Okay.
You
got you.
got me?
Yeah.
Okay. No, it was in the evening.
That one was in the evening.
That one was in the
Just
evening,
got off
and
work.
I had just we were celebrating the 10-year anniversary of
Mhm.
me doing Heart Talk, which is our weekly empowerment session where we confront matters of the heart using the Bible as our guide. And we, so that we can heal and live on purpose. We've been doing it for a while. So Dr. Wilder has been in our heart tribe for a very long time. So
Yes.
I had just restarted it. It was the second or third session back, and she made a connection on the
Yes.
call.
So, I don't even remember. I thought I was late for the call because
Mhm.
like I said, I was getting off work, etc. Rushing. I was like, you know what, I need to do this. So, Adelaide sent me the link. I clicked the link late, but I'm so glad we did. We had this conversation. I don't remember how we got to the conversation, but Yolanda, who was an attendee at the call, we were talking about what our hearts wanted to do.
Mhm.
And it was something that I said that she said, okay, before we hang up, I need to get your contact information because I want you to meet
Yes.
Sarah Ellis. You know
Yes.
her? She's from the island. Da, da, da. No, Miss Sarah. Girl, come to find out. Sarah literally grew up 3 minutes from my house.
Yes.
Oh,
But
wow.
Our mamas graduated high school
Yes.
together. Yes.
And Sarah knew my mom.
Yes, because she went to our church. Yes.
Yes. I was like, I don't know how we never like linked up as kids. But long short, it was a couple of months after that that we actually met after Yolanda exchanged information. Hey, I'm gonna give you this number, I'm gonna give you her number. Da, 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 da. And we met for coffee. And at that time, we were finishing each other's sentences.
Yes.
Literally at coffee, we were finishing each other's
Yeah,
sentences.
you could definitely see the chemistry. Like, I'm so glad. Like, y'all, it's like y'all have been together forever. Like, I would think
Forever.
that if I didn't know better, you couldn't convince me y'all didn't grow up on the same dirt road,
No.
someplace on James Island together. I'm
Yeah,
telling
it
you.
wasn't like that at all. So we met for coffee after this exchange of numbers, being on this heart call after being on heart talk. And whatever God moved Yolanda to do, she said, however God allows this connection to be.
She did. She said it on the call that night.
Yes.
She said it. She said, I believe that, because you were talking about how much you care about our people, how much you really have a heart for our community to heal, and you don't like what you see, and you understand. It was just a very, and Yolanda being a nurse as well. And she was
Mhm.
like, you got to talk to Dr. Sarah. Like,
Yes,
you
I need you
have
to
to talk.
connect with
Yeah, she
her.
was like, you have to connect with her. She said, I don't
Yes.
know what's going to come from it. A
Yes.
whole
Mhm.
medical practice has come from
Yes.
in less than
Yes.
6 months
It
at
wasn't
that.
even that long.
No.
It wasn't even
No.
6 months, y'all.
Mm-mm.
This happened, and let me help them out. This right now is August of 2025.
Mhm.
They opened the practice in May of
Yes.
2025, okay?
Yes.
This conversation we're talking about took place in October of
Mhm.
2024.
Yes.
Yeah. And we met for coffee late October
Yes.
2024. So just to backtrack a little bit, September 2024,
Mhm.
I was in I worked for a supplement company and they had their annual conference and they were working me down to the bone. I was like, I don't want to be here. I'm away from my children. I just and we had a dinner we had to go to, and I'm begrudgingly getting dressed. I'm like, let me hurry to get out here. I'm gonna do my dinner. I'm going back to
Get
my
this
room.
over with.
Okay, let me hurry
Yes,
to get this
yes.
over with. So I go in and I'm sitting down, and this amazing man came up to me and was like, "Is anyone sitting next to you?" I'm like, "No, come on." So he and I are chatting.
Yeah.
We talk about, I know that he's one of the speakers for our conference, and he's like, "What do you do?" And I'm telling him. And at the time I had a virtual practice. I didn't have a brick and mortar or anything. And as a naturopathic doctor, there's restrictions that I have in the state of South Carolina.
Okay.
So, I'm telling him about how I want to take care of, my community, but, trying to work through the red tape. And he was just like, "Well, if I get my license in South Carolina, how do you feel about, setting things up and doing it that way?" And I was like, "Yes."
No
Like,
idea. Now, this
who
was
are
a
you?
month before she and I met.
Yes.
Okay. A month before she and I met. So in order for this to have happened, that piece needed to be connected.
Yes.
Okay. Just
Yes.
flat out. So we would not be here without that piece being
Oh
connected.
my gosh.
Okay.
No. Now, mind you, I had talked to him because I was helping him with his slides, and we had done, all the stuff for work. And I want to let people know, just a quick interjection. This is the power of showing up as yourself and being kind all the time, because you never know who God is going to send in your life and in your path. And when you show up and you do your job well, that puts that type of energy out, for you to receive that again. And Dr. DV has been an absolute angel. And so I had a nurse practitioner that we were working with, and I text her and I'm like, "I think I found your medical director," blah, 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 blah. And then a month later, it's funny because Yolanda had texted me, and I guess back in August.
Yeah. Maybe, was it August? It might've been August. Yes, August.
Yeah, because I know she was talking about you too. That's what the whole thing was so amazing, because she was already, I have your number. I've been sharing your information. I hadn't even met you yet. I had already sent your things with 3 people seeing you, and I don't even know who Sarah is.
Appreciate y'all so much. And so I finally was like, you know what? Let me reach out to her. I've been supposed to do this. Let's meet up for coffee. We met for coffee. And like, we're just talking, and I'm like, yeah, I feel like herbal medicine, natural medicine, that's our people's birthright, because
I'm
that is
telling you.
what kept us alive. Like, and I think people may not understand why we feel so strongly about honoring our ancestors. But if you grew up in Charleston, and especially on James Island, we drive past slave plantations every day. The slave houses
are
still there.
Mhm.
And so when I think about, being able to, I think we both can trace our ancestors back to that same plantation on James Island. And when you think about the fact that they didn't have doctors come take care of them, you'd be lucky if they brought the vet to take care of them. So they had to rely on their own wisdom and their elders to figure out what was in nature that they could use to help heal themselves. And I remember sitting talking to Shayna like that. I feel like this is our birthright, and it's not fair that you got to be rich to afford integrative medicine. And then she says, "Sarah, look." I pull out the laptop.
Just like her.
Look. Because at the time I was writing the book, and I kept going back and forth about this book. "Sarah, oh my gosh." And she literally said a sentence that was in the book. Never knew about the book, didn't know I was writing the book, never read the transcript, didn't even know. She was like, "What?" Girl, there it was. Showed it to her, and I was like, I was about to cry right at the table. It don't take much
to
of
cry now. You're about to make me cry now.
Yeah, Shayna, I have an opportunity to open up a clinic, and I need you to be here with me.
And she said, "There's a space for you." I said, "For me?"
Yes, ma'am.
And she said, "Yes, ma'am." Just like that. I said, "No." Mind you, after I got my doctorate, I said, what I want, the whole reason for me to getting this doctorate, was because I wanted to have a seat at the table. My dream was to be able to open a community center or a community clinic that would take care of people holistically, mind, body, spirit, in all the ways, right? That was the whole reason why I got back to it. Going to school to get a doctorate degree.
Me too.
And I said, the only way that this is going to happen is if I have a seat at a table to do it.
Yeah.
was intimidated about going to get my doctorate, was intimidated by the whole thing. I was like, can I even do this? Did it? Don't know how. Lord, don't know
But
how.
God.
But God. Okay, because all kinds of things been going on at the same time. And when she said that after she realized, she literally, I mean, word for word in the book, it was in there. And to this day, I can't explain. I said, absolutely. Absolutely. And then you said, what would your ideal schedule look like?
Yeah.
And I said, but that was before you told me there was a space for me. And I was like, you know what? If I really could work a schedule, and I was telling her, she said, okay. I said, what you mean? Okay. What you mean?
Because now you're the boss. So
Now
you
you
have a schedule.
she said,
Yes.
okay.
Yes.
And that was that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
I said, Sarah, let's go. And that's how it happened.
Yeah. That was October.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we found this spot
March?
Yeah.
March.
February, March, somewhere
Wow.
around there.
Mm-hmm.
And it was completely gutted. Nothing, everything you see around us was
came in the building, wires and everything just
Yep.
hanging, the whole
Oh,
walls open.
wow.
It was a whole new build. And every time we would come in here, it was like, oh my gosh, there's a wall going.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my
And it would
goodness.
be tears. It would be tears every
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Every time I walk in there, I'm like,
Mhm.
God, you did this. Like,
You did.
so
I mean,
good.
it was the careful I hands down, you can't convince me that this was not a God thing.
Absolutely.
Oh,
No.
I mean,
Absolutely.
that's just somebody that just wants to believe foolishness
Yeah,
because I
flat
mean,
out.
this is very clear that this is a God thing.
Yeah.
Just how you two are so synced.
Mhm.
Hearing Sarah tell her story and just what I've known and being friends with Shayna over the years, it is even calling you Dr. Wilder, Dr.
I had to
Ellis.
get used to that.
It's like I know you're like, it's not that big of a deal, but it's a big deal for me. I want to call you that. How about that? Like I want to say that. But I know that that has always, I remember we worked in the same practice when I was still in healthcare years ago. And Shayna was when she was in PE school, like or
Mhm.
just finished school.
I not
And
long
she
had
was
finished.
you had just finished, yeah, so she was working with one of the surgeons that I worked in his
Mhm.
practice, and that's where I really cut my teeth, and she'll tell you that's the type of practice to learn some stuff about healthcare. Um, and just seeing her stay committed to the field, like, I can tell you from experience, like, they they are what they're talking about. They are who they say they are. So when you guys are working in the practice, what type of
Mhm.
patients, like what kind of people can make appointments with you? Like what kind of issues do they have that they
Yeah.
can come in and be seen for? Can they come in and get their annuals? How do you serve your community?
Good question.
Go ahead.
So I consider us like an integrated family practice, honestly, because I think our oldest patient is mid 80s and our youngest is like 2 or
No,
something.
we got a 90. We got somebody that's 90.
Look at that. We got it. Yes. So
Cool.
we run the gamut.
Mhm.
The way I like to explain it is I focus more on women's health, autoimmune disease,
Mhm.
gut health, and honestly, our whole practice, both of us, and our medical director, we focus on the gut. So the gut microbiome, we believe once you can get that sorted out, everything else begins to kind of fall in place or makes it easier to take care of other things. So women's health, gut health, autoimmune, and peds. And then Shayna is our chronic disease queen. Okay. We have been able to reverse diabetes in some patients. We're able to reverse high blood pressure in some patients.
Oof.
Yes.
So she sees our chronic disease patients. So type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, a little bit of ortho in the sense of like arthritis.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then, peds in the sense of if you want physical exam or
Yeah.
sports physical, those sorts of things.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
Yeah. So we literally see just about everyone.
Mhm.
And we also have partnered with a home health agency. So those who are in need of home health or are receiving home health and would like to have a more integrative approach, we offer that as well.
That's so good.
So we got to make sure our seniors are taken care of.
Absolutely. Oh, and we take insurance. I forgot
Yes,
to mention that.
we
Yes.
are one of the very few
Yeah.
that takes insurance. So I mean, I think that's the amazing part, because like you were saying, we make it to where we can bring care to everyone,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And that's what our hearts wants to do. It's you deserve quality care, just like the richest man in the world deserves quality care.
Absolutely.
So we do that to expand access for sure.
Yes.
This is like it for me, just working in healthcare for over 10 years and just being in the community and just in life, right? Having a mother who got diagnosed with lupus in 1979, 78, and did not expect to live past 30 years old, and just seeing how these types of approaches is a big part of why she made it to 63. You know what I mean? Because she was very big about the herbs and things that she should be doing in conjunction with her prednisone or whatever else she had to take to deal with lupus, what the doctors were telling her.
Right.
This is very encouraging to me because I'm at the age now, my early 40s, but I'm in that space where I have friends dying from chronic issues in their 40s. I have, people who are starting to get amputations and things like that. And I know from being in healthcare, working with surgeons, vascular surgeons who did the amputations, how much this could be prevented.
That changed my whole life.
You telling me that story?
Listen, Addie, when we were in that practice and I would be in surgery, and the first time I had to have a leg in my arm, holding it in assist, as in a first assist to the surgeon I was working with, that changed the whole game for me, because we didn't have to be here.
Mm-mm.
We don't have to be here. Like, there are so many steps before getting to this place that I have to literally have a limb. And I remember standing there just like this with this limb in my arm because this man needed it, AKA. That changed the game for me. I said, what do I need to do to be able to help my people not have to deal with that? Because life expectancy significantly decreases when you have all the things happen, right? You're more at risk for all of these other things, but we don't have to be there. And unfortunately, it's so many people's stories. So
And they think that's and they really think that's all they can do.
But if you had an intervention before we get to this place, your entire life, your wellness, how you live, your mindset would be so different. So I think that's why I dive into chronic disease the way I do, because that day, Addie, I'm telling you, working there changed my whole game. And seeing people that I knew. Of course,
Oh, yeah.
Charleston is not as big as we think, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you say what your last name is, where you from, and you already know.
You
What
pretty
you
much know
already know.
everybody.
Do
Know
you
your
know
people.
this
Yes.
person or that person? And within a 2-minute conversation, you know at least 2 people that person knows.
Correct.
So to see people that knows or look like your aunts, like look like your grandparents, your mom, your dad, it's like, yo, to this day, I cannot bring myself to work in dialysis.
Oh no.
I can't do it.
Mm.
It's too many.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
too many
goodness.
familiar people. It's too many connections, or to work in certain fields of medicine, because it's like, oh,
Nephrology, endocrinology,
Yes.
those things that make you so renal. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
all of it.
I find chronic kidney disease to be one of the most disheartening.
Yes.
Because you talk about preventable.
Listen,
Like,
and that's
the
from
name
the neck
causes
bone.
high blood pressure.
Yes, that came from, if we change the neck bone, that's all you got to do. Just get rid of the neck bone.
That's it.
Get rid of the
It's
big
so
tail.
It's
Roger
mm,
Wood. And I love my
Let's go.
Roger Wood. Spicy Roger Wood
Let's go.
sausage. Yes.
But
However,
yes, but if it's killing you, is it worth
please.
I
it?
don't
Like,
like it that much. I promise I
no.
can improvise. We can make a substitution. I promise we
Yes.
can.
Yes.
That's why I switched over from, and even learn how to make red rice without sausage, period, and make it
There you
taste good.
go.
But
And
you
you
have to
still
be
get the red
creative.
rice.
Yes, and you still get
Yes.
your red rice. I said, please don't take the rice from me. What do I do? That
No,
was the thing. I
look
said,
here.
Lord, I got
The
to get my
Japanese
life
eat
right.
rice
All
all
the
day,
time.
every
See,
day. But
that's
ain't
They're
nobody
my
gonna tell
years
me.
old.
No one's
thank
gonna
you.
tell me that rice is
See, that's why I love y'all. See what
no.
I mean? Oh
It's
my
what we put on
gosh.
top of the
Okay.
rice, in the rice.
And the rice, yes.
No. So no.
Yes. So y'all see how integrative they are for real, right?
Mhm.
Like we're joking, but you can hear the seriousness in
Yes.
the jokes. And I want us to hear this and see this because I want you to see doctors that are beautiful, that are smiling, that are intelligent, that want to take care of you. And I can tell you, they want to take care of you. The sacrifices they've made to even get to this point, they've alluded to a little bit of it. You can hear it. But it's very important for you to understand and be cared for by people who care about you.
Yes. I
Because you
also wanted, oh,
go ahead.
sorry.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, doctor.
I also wanted to add that Shayna sees our men.
Mm.
So we have been
Oh,
blessed to be able to take care of amazing men, especially Black men.
Mhm.
oh yes.
And the great,
Some
maybe
hearts for the black man.
75, 80% of our Black male patients have high blood pressure.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
And the joy that we get from helping them learn to take care of themselves. I think Black men and women, we we have been conditioned to sacrifice ourselves for family,
Oh
friends,
yeah.
whatever the situation is. And
Yes.
when Black men prioritize themselves, they then have more than enough to take care of their family, to show up at work, to
Mhm.
be the brother, father, grandfather,
Mhm.
uncle that they need to be. And I love that Shayna takes care of them because Black men need a certain type of energy, right? A
Yeah.
certain type
They
of
do.
level of accountability, right?
Mhm.
And so
Yes.
she would
Love
just be like,
with
"Bro,
accountability.
there you go.
Yeah.
There
Now,
you
sir,
go.
what are we doing?
Come on
Why?
now.
Yeah.
There you go.
Come on.
Come, I can hear now. Come on now. Why are you doing that?
My
You know
friend,
better. We talked
Yeah.
about this.
we have yes,
Mhm.
To
yes.
make them want to come back. And it's a pretty face. So you easy on the eyes, right?
You
So they
know,
can
but
come
the
back.
one thing I love about us is that we understand our community.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We
Yes, you do.
understand and the importance of cultural understanding and cultural competency when it comes to delivering healthcare.
Yes.
Yes.
It can be the difference between healing and sacrifice. Like it can truly
Life and
depend
death.
on,
Yeah.
yeah, how people are able to reverse illness. The
Mhm.
other thing I love about us is that I tell patients all the time, you are home when you come to Magnolia.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Don't come in here with all of that. I have to be a certain way. I can't tell my doctor the truth, or I have to sugarcoat it, or maybe tell her a little bit. No,
Mm-mm.
that's not where this is. We want to know all of the good, bad, the ugly, about all of the parts of your life, whether it's your mental health, how you sleeping, what are you eating, why are you eating the way you're eating? Is it because you can't afford to buy, certain foods? I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
we need to know these things
Absolutely.
in
Mm.
order for you to be able to get to a space that you need to be for your overall wellness. And so I tell patients all the time, you're at home when you're here.
Mm.
Nothing that you could bring with you. We have an understood or understand lived experience.
Yeah.
And I think that also helps to try to lessen some of the disparities that we deal with, some of the gaps in healthcare that we deal with, because now people can feel like they can be who they are.
Yes.
So that's me being biased, but we joke, but I can be as geeky as the next,
And can.
with my patients.
Yes.
And they're like, oh, okay,
You
she
get
really,
more out of them too.
yeah,
You
she
get
Yeah.
more
really does
compliance. They're
understand.
more compliant
Yes.
Yes.
because one, they know you see them.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if I
And then
feel like
we'll
you
go do a
see
line dance together. You know
see
what
what I
I'm saying?
mean?
Like,
Yes.
Literally was doing the Tamia dance
Yes.
in the waiting room
Anyway,
because
First of
my
all, y'all
favorite.
play too much because that's too hard, and
yeah,
you
Yeah.
first of all, that
showing
was her.
off is
It
Because
what
was
you're
me.
doing, is
first of all,
showing
that
It
was
off.
was
her
it was me.
because
She's
the
showing
Tamia
off.
dance got one turn too
That
many
thing got
people.
too much.
No,
See,
when I
Sarah,
finally learned it, I was like, okay, yo, I
see
got
what
it.
I
I
they
got
talk
it.
about all you got to do is count. So much accounting.
So
I
much
can count.
account.
I'm good with
No,
math, but I can't. And I like line dance, but that one is the oh y'all. The people who
but
do
we
that
love
show
our
off.
patients.
Show off here.
We do. We love them.
Y'all do. And
And we understand them.
I think that in healthcare, like just working in a doctor's office, people treat you like you're a doctor, right?
Mhm.
And me working in a doctor's office and just getting exposed to it the way I did, I always knew there was always a thing in me that felt like I had to translate so much
Mm-mm.
um to people, and like especially when people used to get upset, I'm like, let me talk to them
Mhm.
because you're we could be saying the same thing, but it's how you're saying it, and they
Yes.
will receive it and receive the care, right? That's the biggest thing. They will receive the care. And I just feel like you all embody that so much. And I'm just so thankful that you pressed through. I'm thankful that you pressed through, Sarah, with that position that you did not like to be at that conference, because God
Yes.
knew your breakthrough
Yeah.
was waiting on you. And I
Mhm.
feel like sometimes in life we do, this is also a lesson in, being able to say, okay, I am going to push through because it's something here. It's something here. And I'm going to stand on this because you don't know. Because I know that night that Sheena got on Heart Talk, it was a press for her. It was a press for her to get on there, but that
Mhm.
connection that was made is how we got here today. And I feel like that's what you do and what you bring for your patients, because a lot of people have been pressing through health challenges. They've watched
Yeah.
their loved ones live limited lives or even succumb to things like diabetes, high
Mhm.
blood pressure, with hypertension and heart disease and things, kidney disease and kidney failure that didn't even have to happen.
No.
But sometimes we think it does because that's just a pattern we keep
Right.
seeing. And it's like pigs going to the slaughter. It's like
Mhm. Yeah.
this is just the rule. And I just want you guys to know this is why they are guests today, that you don't have to live like that. You
No.
don't have to be tired and sick. You can get your life back. So please let us know how we can connect with you, how we can follow you, and maybe not get into all of them, but the different types of insurances. Do you take the private and public, like Medicare, Medicaid, Blue Cross, United Healthcare, the ones that a lot of
All
people
the
have,
things.
All the things
all the
that
things. Yeah. So just let us know.
Okay, that's you. All right.
so you can I'll let you talk about the insurance and I'll
Okay.
let them know where to find us.
That's cool.
Okay, so we are located in Charleston, South Carolina and West Ashley. You can book a free discovery call. So we set aside 15 minutes, and honestly, but we
It'll never
spend
be
we really
15
be
I
on
minutes.
know
30
y'all
to
spend longer than 15 minutes when you on there. Yes.
Never with that boundary, that's sketch.
Yeah.
we really be on there for 30, 45 minutes.
Yes.
However, because we get to know you, we are really invested in you. We ask questions that you probably have not been asked by a doctor. What does success look like? If you decide to work with us, what does that look like? What are some challenges that might present themselves and be obstacles on your journey, to healing? So we offer a free discovery call. You can book that on our website, Magnolia Integrative SC, like South Carolina.com. Or you can give us a call, 843-501-2333. Or you can text that number as well and just say, hey, we heard you on Heartline. I would like to have a discovery call, and we'll add you to our schedule. And for us, the initial visit is usually quite longer than you get at a usual visit. So anywhere, I think yours is 45 minutes. Yeah, mine is anywhere for an hour and a half, because we ask a lot of questions just to get to the root, because our goal at Magnolia is to get to the root of why you have high blood pressure, why you have elevated blood sugar, all of those things. So there's so many ways to work with us. We do offer telehealth. So if you're
Yes.
not local to Charleston, that is not a problem. You can do telehealth or by phone.
Yeah. And as far as what we offer and how we do all of that, all of the major health insurances, like you were saying, the HMOs and the PPOs, I'll just leave
There
it
you
like
go.
that.
Yes.
And Medicaid, Medicare, we do accept Medicare patients. We are seeing a lot of Medicare patients right now. So those spaces we have pretty much, reserved for you guys because there's some changes that may come down the pike. So if you have Medicare or have family members that have Medicare, give us a call, and we'll be more than happy to get things started before any changes might happen with Medicare.
Oh, yeah.
I am going. I have a family member that will be calling you this. It just clicked to me. Um, blood pressure, blood sugar, and it's like I'm asking questions like, does your doctor even ask like what's your diet like? Like what's
Most of the
no,
time, we don't
the
have
the
time.
doctor, yeah, and I
Yeah.
get that, but it's like, but you're upping these doses and you're doing
Yeah.
these things, and it's like that doesn't seem healthy as well. So just the thought of someone caring enough to ask the questions. And so for those of you that will reach out to them, we will make sure and have all of the contact information in the description of the show. And make sure you reach out and ask your questions, right? And if you want to reach out to me, I'd be more than happy to answer what I can and also direct you directly to them. But don't suffer in silence anymore. You can be helped, you can be served. Like they say, they have an apothecary in the office. They can serve you in person or online. So there is really no need. If you have a loved one that lives far away, but you know they need this type of health care, take advantage of it. They have a free discovery call. I mean, at least check in and see. Can these
Is
services
this a
work
good
for
fit for
you?
me?
Is
Yeah.
this a good fit for me? Do I like them? Like, find out. They might seem fun here, but call in and find out for yourself,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely.
So, I really want to thank you all for being here. This will not be the last time. Right, I definitely have to have y'all come on again. But do you have any closing words that you would like to share with the people before we finish out this show?
Closing words is what you think. Okay, you are not destined for certain diseases because mama and daddy had it, and you don't have to wait your turn.
Mhm.
Um, things that have been once taught that they are hereditary and you just accept it just because, most of that is not the truth. A lot of the things that you think may be hereditary are not. Behaviors and what you're taught is okay, but chronic disease is not your birthright. Our promise from God Himself is that we live in abundance, and that's in every way, whether that's in your health, in your finances, in your mental state, in whatever. Abundance accompanies all of that. And that's what we try to get you to walk within. We just, tools in your toolbox. That's it.
Yeah.
I tell my patients all the time, think of me as a coach. I don't want you to have to need me.
There you go.
Mm.
There you go.
Mhm.
That is our 100% truth. My goal and our goal is that we are giving you the tools and resources and plan so that you can take care of your health on your own. And we're always here in the back burner waiting in case you need us. But our goal is not for you to continually cycle through our clinic. Our goal is for you to not only just learn to take care of yourself, but then spread that to your family and to your friends. And then if you need help and guidance, we're here. And my parting words is very similar. Like, we have more options than you think. And integrative holistic medicine, it works. We know that it works. Research shows that it works. Their favorite pharmaceuticals come from plants. So
A lot of them.
there you go.
That's
So we have the power to heal and take care of ourselves. And so we just are excited to facilitate that for you.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to close out. I thank you all for taking this time to share with the entire Heart Tribe just your amazingness, your practice, all that you're doing. But the biggest thing is just thank you for being obedient and doing God's work for God's people, right? That's the biggest thing. So I thank y'all for being here. Remember, when you heal your heart, you transform your life. I'm Adelai Brown, your heart coach, signing out. I'll see y'all next time.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.